It feels so awkward to introduce ourselves now that we were just talking about it.
I know. I'm just like, I'm like, wait, how are we starting this off? I'm like, I don't know.
So awkward. We're the Valkyrie Book Club. So we're gonna talk about the Hurricane Wars. Yay. Okay, I mean, what do we want to talk about first, really? We can talk about anything.
Should we do the intros first?
The intros? Oh my gosh.
Our intros.
Our intros.
It's the first recording.
We're so professional. You guys can go first because I have to cough.
Because you have to die.
Book reader, not
I'm a
me.
veteran book reader. I'm Becca and I love me some books. But I've never been in like a book club. I've been in like little book challenges and reads and stuff like that, but never like an actual club. So this is really fun and exciting.
Yay, Becca! Woo!
Woo, Becca! I'm Bree, or Brianna, but Bree for short, and I'm new to reading. Just started reading like October of last year, and I only read like Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, but I'm jumping right in. I think fantasy romance is like where I belong, and I don't know how I haven't read all this time, but I'm really excited. So, first book club, and I'm ready to go.
That was really professional.
That was amazing.
I don't know how I'm going to top that one.
Can I retract mine?
That's that healthcare.
Can we start over?
That's how you introduce yourself to your patients?
Oh, yeah. The healthcare. Customer service.
Yeah, really. The customer service voice. Love that. Okay, and I'm Megan. I'm sick right now. I'm a veteran reader as well. So we have 2 veteran readers and a virgin reader. Yeah, but I read everything: fantasy, horror, romance, manga for the weebs out there. And yeah, I just love to read. That's my literal happy place. I mean, we can just start with plot, really. Like what we kind of thought overall plot-wise of this book.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to hear Bree first, though. Honestly,
yes.
the virgin reader. I need to hear.
I actually really enjoyed the plot. I can feel it so bad because I can only compare it to like one other series.
Yeah.
But I thought it was different compared to like Fourth Wing and Iron Flame in a way. Because one, it's in like third person, but like multiple POV, like when you're talking about Taliesin, and then it's all of a sudden it's Alaric's point of view.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. I didn't beginning, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it was a little slow, but I still appreciated the detail that I was given, or the world building. So it wasn't boring to me. It may take you a little bit longer to get through, but it's not like terrible.
Gotcha.
But in terms of the plot, I think this was like, I thought it was a very good enemies to lovers. Still somewhat enemies, even by the end of the book. Like, I'm like, what the heck?
Still a question mark.
But no, I think it was definitely true. It like builds up like the tension throughout the whole entire book. Right? I sent you guys a message and I was like, how are we 300 something pages in? They haven't even kissed yet. This is so frustrating.
Yep. The will they, won't they frustration.
And it's always the 100 pages, right? 100 pages till the end it's always.
And Megan knows, like, that 100 pages gets stressed. I start, like you said, Britt, like, in her text, I was like, I can feel the panic. What's going to happen?
Yep.
I stayed up reading that. I was like, man, I had probably 200 pages left, and I read all the rest of it because I was like, I need to finish it. I need to know what happens. I need them to be together.
You don't need sleep. You need answers.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Always answers.
So I really enjoyed the plot. The whole enemies to lovers, slow burn. It was a really good slow burn, and when finally something happens, it's like, oh my god, finally. So I appreciated it.
All right.
I don't know how you guys felt because as a veteran reader, you're like, oh, I think it took too long, or...
That's why I'm gonna let Becca go next.
I agree. The world building, at least for me, since it's like new, I appreciated it. I don't like the alternative where like they just kind of rush into the characters and then you don't understand what's going on in the background. I think she did a really good job of like setting up the universe. I feel like she's gonna pull on in the second book. But for me, you guys know like my main read is romance. And I agree, Brie. Like I knew that when she was left alive for, 3 or 4 times, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna happen. I was like, he could have killed her easily. Um, but the world building was really awesome. In my head, I loved like, and I'm gonna butcher all these, and I'm probably sure that we all are pronouncing this like 3 different ways.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Like the Neneverine kingdom.
No, that's pretty close, really.
Yeah. How are you guys pronouncing it before I go on?
The same way, really.
I'm saying Nenevarine.
Nenevarine.
It's all pretty similar.
Alaric.
Alaric. I think it is
Alaric.
Alaric.
Okay.
Alaric.
I said Alaric.
Alaric.
Mm-hmm.
Alaric.
Yeah,
Alaric. I think.
Alaric. Okay.
I don't know. I have no clue.
It was very new for me, and like Megan, you might have a different approach since you read more fantasy, but the magic and like the new worlds and all of like the different creatures, I loved every detail. And I think half of my annotations are just like how beautifully she detailed everything, because I could see it like crisp in my brain.
Yeah, I could visualize it pretty well,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate it because like at some point she's gonna have to, like, if she's not doing world building in this book, then the second book is mainly going to be world building.
Yeah.
So like
Exactly. And like
eventually it has to be done.
Yeah. So you might as well do it in the beginning, in the first. And she set up great. And I think there's so much detail, like even throughout the book when they made like references back, it was just like really easy to follow. I didn't feel like lost at all. Everything was like crystal clear. And I definitely have a couple of, I think she was foreshadowing some things for book 2. So that's where I'm going to end so that we can talk about that later.
Good. Okay, I'm gonna squash all of your feelings. No, not all of them. Not all of them. So I wrote a good amount of notes, but I want to say it got to. Let me see. I want to say to like chapter 10. I want to say. I was having a little bit of a hard time with the world building. And I'll tell you why. So I wrote here just scribbles. World building a little too fast, hard to keep up. Introduced too many people in one chapter. Feeling too fast paced a little so far. And I only say that because I've read fantasy books and not every book is perfect, right? Like this is her first book, obviously. She wrote in the beginning. So that's why I won't drag her. And I'm not a writer, obviously. But I just felt like, we get to the wedding, first chapter, and you're like, kind of like, how did we get here? The terms kind of threw me off, like helmsman. I was like, what the fuck is a helmsman? And then I'm like, oh, they're soldiers. Okay. So then, stuff like that. Senite, which means the next night. But I was like, in my head, I was like, what the fuck does that mean? I don't understand. But that's just me. But it was kind of like that for me for a couple chapters. It just felt very rushed in the first couple chapters. Like they have this wedding, goes right to war, and then so I was kind of like, I don't really know how I feel about this right now. But then I'm reading on and I'm kind of like understanding, it's the like point of war, happens so fast that you are having a wedding and then you have to go to war. It's like that kind of feeling. And I'm like, okay, like she kind of got it right, But But I've read books where, like, Crescent City is a really prime example. Love those books, really do. The first book, I want to say first 5 chapters are hard to get through. So hard to get through, especially for me. With like my dyslexia, is like there's so much world building at once, and it's like this character and this person, this person, this person. I'm like, oh my god, who is what? So that's why I was annotating, because I'm like, okay, like if I go back here, I'll understand more. I did write myself a note on chapter 10, because I was very annoyed, because there was an off-screen fight and I wanted to read somebody fight. So, But after that, it got really, really good for me. I very much enjoyed the classic, like, I don't even know what it's called, like, classic match made in heaven, but, like, you don't want to be married type of thing. I don't even know what that trope is called. Like, forced marriage trope, I guess. Mm-hmm. I like stuff like that. So, and like you guys said too, like, I feel like she's pulling a Sarah J. Maas and, like, putting in some little details to sprinkle for the next book. But even though the beginning was hard for me, it was a hard read, I really did enjoy, I want to say, like, chapter 11 and on. Like, the last 200 pages, I couldn't stop reading. I was just really, really into it. And then towards the end, like, the last chapter, I was like, holy shit, like, that's it? Like, I have to wait?
I was upset.
I went to October.
Yeah.
I was like, there's not enough pages for what I want to happen.
Did we expect that spice? Because I didn't expect it.
I didn't, but I was still very upset. Wait, how vulgar can I be on here?
You could be as vulgar as you want, Brie.
Like,
do you see the name of our channel, Brie?
Oh, right.
Smut talk. Yep.
No, I was actually kind of upset about it, but I feel like, okay, in terms of spice, for this book, I'd probably rate it as, like, maybe a 1, and that's only because it's only, like, the last, 100 pages.
Yeah.
But I
The
think
classic.
the way that she did it, I swear, the second or third book, like, it better be the best written smut I've ever read. Like, he better, like, destroy her or something. Like, it better be that, like,
Not the destroying. Poor girl.
like the tension between them is just, like, so much that, like, I just feel like it has to be, like, the craziest, like, feral thing to ever happen when it actually does. But I just feel like I was like, oh, we're at this part in the book, and, like, there's no penetration. What the fuck?
No penetration. Dang, Brie.
I was like, what the hell?
What? I totally agree with Brie, and maybe this is just me being unhinged. Him being, like, of the Shadowgate, of, the empire that is absolutely ruthless. I wanted to see that in bed. And
Right.
like,
Yeah.
and I mean, maybe this is me being a red flag that he isn't, but the like you're saying, Greek, like the soft man, I was very surprised by it all. But maybe she's, weaving that rope where, he's misunderstood, and his father Harris had, like, a really bad hold on him, and he has some daddy issues, and he doesn't want to be like daddy. But
Daddy.
I agree with you.
He's Shadow Daddy.
He
Yeah.
is a shadow
You
daddy.
can still be passionate and not
Yeah.
be,
Well, he said that he's never been with a woman.
That's true.
Yeah.
That was refreshing.
So.
or Taliesin.
Yeah.
hasn't been
It
with
was both
anybody
my
either.
first time, first kiss. Yeah.
So I get it.
So
I
they
get it.
both are virgins.
We're leading up to it.
Gross.
That's like another thing. Like, they're bred from war. Like, when do you have the chance? You're
Yeah.
fighting for survival every day.
Of course.
Mhm.
Yeah, I get that. But Homegirl, I mean, she knows what she wants. She, when they were getting into it, she was like, do me hard, daddy.
And maybe that's why I was thinking that. I was like, Taliesin was speaking with her eyes, but you need to say that with your mouth.
You need to say that with your
He's not. He's not.
Say it
words.
with your chest.
He's a shadowmancer, but he ain't a mind reader.
Well, he's also a man, so he's kind of dumb. So,
But I still appreciate it. I think it's really leading up to like it's putting that tension between them. I think later on, like we're probably gonna get like the dirtiest thing, and I'm like very excited for it.
Me too. That's what I'm hoping for.
yeah, and I mean, spoiler free for Akatar. But that was the same thing with that book, right, Becca? It was the same thing.
For the first one, or for all of them?
No, the first one.
What was I say?
It was the same thing, you know.
Yeah, I agree. It kind of like it's not what you expected, but then it evolves into something else, and like maybe that's also like a character development type tool that they use. I'm not 100% sure what like the terms are, but like definitely was completely unexpected out of left field. Um, and maybe that's what gets people talking too. So didn't expect it, but hey, I'm here for it, and I'm here to see some difference.
You also have to understand too, like it's this author's first book. It's like, you know, she I feel like she did a good job with the spice scenes. Like they really did keep me there. Like, oh, this is going somewhere. So you know, maybe like you said, maybe it's just leading up to one big like chapter kind of thing. You know.
That's very true. Yeah.
This might be like really weird, but like for me, when I read, I have to read out loud because I'm very absent-minded. My mind will just like drift to like another thought.
Fair enough.
But then the moment I get to the spice scenes, I'm just like silent.
Nick knows. He's like, oh, she went quiet.
Nobody can hear.
I have to keep this to myself.
As they should.
You just hear me say comments like, "Oh,
Ooh.
okay."
Ah.
I definitely need to have like a camera on my face when I read these scenes. The
Yes.
expressions that I'm making, I need to know.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I felt the same way. Like in I think it was the smut scene in the bed. My face, I was just like the kombucha girl where she does like the not good face and then the good face. I was like, okay. Like we're getting there. It was yeah.
And then she was like, "You're sleeping on the floor," and I was like, "God damn it!"
I know. I was like, oh, that put to waste. I think I even said like out loud. I was like, ugh, God, like why are you so stubborn?
Megan knows me about this, Brie. The one bed is my
Ugh.
Achilles heel, my
Yes.
kryptonite. Like when that trope comes in, like I'm just pumping my fist in the air. And yeah, when he had to go sleep on the couch, I was like, no, God, no.
Go back to the bed.
And like I think she said at one point, oh, you know, the courtier is gonna come in early in the morning. We need to like make it look like we slept together all night. I was like, yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, but a girl could dream.
A girl could dream. That's what October is for. When we get the dream.
I mean, we got other books too
True.
to fill the void in the meantime.
Yeah, but like this was a great start.
I think she did a really good job for her first book. I'm not sure if anybody. So, did you guys ever see or look at any other reviews after you like finished the book?
No, I didn't actually.
No, me neither.
So supposedly this is supposed to be like a fanfic for like Rey and Kylo Ren.
No.
Yeah, and so I was like, I can see it.
I can
There's a
see
whole
that.
empire
I'm looking it up.
who's taking over,
I'm already looking it up, Brie.
right? Takes over the whole continent. She's part of the rebellion. She's the last one left. And at some point, and I think I got the vibe of Star Wars in the beginning when he was like, "Join me," and I was like, okay, who are you, Kylo?" Like, what's happening?
Yep, I was definitely surprised by that too.
Oh, dog, there's a whole article on it. You are not wrong.
No, yeah.
Dang.
I think supposedly I don't know if the author also makes other fanfics or like has done like writings, but then you look at the description of Alaric or Alric, however you say it, I want to pronounce it, and he has like black hair that's like longer. He's
Mm-hmm.
pale
Mm-hmm.
with like beauty marks.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is that
Yes.
straight up throwing Adam Driver at me?
Right.
Yeah.
Just,
Extremely tall.
Yep,
yeah.
extremely tall.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, there's a 1,800 page PDF
Nice,
of
nice.
the the linkage between Star Wars and Hurricane Wars.
Okay, so I think we're done here. We should be done because someone did 1,800 pages,
Yeah.
and we are not cut out for this job whatsoever. We're done.
Um,
Oh my
Disbanding.
God.
we're doing this for our own enjoyment. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a whole
We're not
subreddit too.
professionals. Can we put that?
In our
In
little
the-
tagline, yeah. We are
Yeah.
not professionals.
We are not professionals.
We'll never reach that goal, guys. 1,800 pages.
Yeah, no. There's a whole subreddit though, dedicated.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. That's cool though. I like that. I like stuff like that.
Yeah, I thought that was very cool, very interesting. But
Yeah.
I also like when I'm watching this too. So if you like, you look in her bio,
Mm-hmm.
it says that
Oh yeah, I saw
in
that
her
too.
free time, she's running Dungeons and Dragon campaigns. So like when
I
she was
Yup.
fighting in the
Mhm.
beginning, and she just like guiding bolted this dude or sacred flamed him,
Yep.
I was like, what is happening? That's what I
It-
pictured.
You know what's funny? I did tell Ronnie, I was like, this reads like a D&D world. And maybe that's where she gets like her creativity, or maybe she uses her creativity for D&D, but like just building this world and then like using all the different like magic and spells and like, like the magic craft of like the I don't know what they're called now. They're the little ships, the Hornets, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, like that was
The wasps,
very
right?
the wasp.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's also the wolves for like
Mhm.
the Shadow Empire. That was very D&D esque.
Yes, I do agree with that. With the magic base too. Like, I did really like that about this book. The magic, how she used magic in this. I just really felt like I was there. Reading the back too, she says to my AO3 readers, which I don't know if you guys know what AO3
Yep.
is. So you know that spice in the next book is gonna be deep. Deep
Can I just
No pun
penetration.
intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. Very much DP.
can I just say a lot of the contemporary writers nowadays were Redditors, AO3 fanfic authors for years.
Yeah.
Allie Hazelwood, you probably know her books like Love
Mhm.
on the Brain, Love Hypothesis.
Yep.
Deep Redditor.
That's
So
crazy.
these ladies' minds, they're built different. They're built different, but I love it.
I mean, and I think that's fine to be, fandom writers and fanfic writers, all that. I think that's great because if you can write well, which she can do, if you can write well, I mean, who gives a shit where you start off,
Yeah.
Like,
And if anything, that like just kind of got the ball rolling.
yeah,
If you can have such like a fan base, something like that, and then get a publishing company to pick up your work, like kudos to you.
yeah. Like, that's why, like I said in the beginning, like, it was so hard for me for the world building, like, so difficult. I felt like it was too fast paced. But then, like I said, when I stopped, I was like, okay, this is her first book. Like, maybe it's me. Like, maybe I'm just not used to this. Like, and that's totally fine. That's why I still really like the book, even though I was conflicted in the beginning because I kept going and I was like, okay, this is a really good book,
And you have a lot more fantasy to like compare it against, whereas me and Bree were kind of a little newer to it. So
Yeah, definitely. Like my my first book ever was the Chronicles of Narnia. So it's like, it's that's as much fantasy as you can get in life. But yeah, no, that's why I said nobody's perfect. I've read books that I will not name. Looking at it right on my shelf. There are books that I love the first book, right? Like, it's amazing, so good, can't put it down, like eyes glued to it, not eating, drinking, just sitting there and reading, right? And then it gets to the last book, and everyone's like, oh, it's so great, so great. And you ever see the meme of Bradley Cooper from Silver Lining Playbook, where he finishes the book and he's like, what the fuck? And he throws it out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, won't name the book, but this 3-book series, that's how I felt at the end. And it felt like the author gave up towards the end, and I just was like, okay, well, this is ass. Like, I just spent my time and money reading this, and I did not enjoy the end, so I'm gonna act like it didn't happen. But you can tell that this author definitely, Thea, right? Thea? I'm probably butchering her name.
Guazon?
Yes.
I think that's how you'd say it.
Yeah,
Don't come at me.
Yeah, that sounds right. You could tell she put her heart into it. Even if my heart wasn't in it in the beginning, which is like totally normal for like a fantasy person to read, just because it's like you're also starting this book fresh. You're going in, like, we went in it with pretty much
You're blind.
nothing. Yeah.
Very, very blind.
Yeah.
I think I do that for all my books, though.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I like going in blind.
I do too. I don't want expectations and be like, oh, this is going to be amazing and this is going to be, something. Just tell me if it's fantasy and if it has romance in it, and I'll be like, okay, let me give it a shot. Let me read it.
But there are some times where I'm like I said to Becca the other day, I was like, how was this book? Because kind of don't want to spend $13 on it if it's not good. Like, that type of deal, because it's like...
And Megan knows, like, other than like us choosing a book together, like if I go to the store, I don't judge books by their covers. If I like it, I won't even read the back. I am the definition of going in blind. Yeah. And then I don't want to read the back because sometimes it's like
spoilers sometimes.
Then they fall in love. I'm like, I don't want to know that. I want to see the fight and the tension, and I want them to miscommunicate and then strive to be together. And so I didn't read the back of this either, and I didn't read, the inside of the dust cover. So I had a great time. I like going in blind. I think it's like the best experience. I like even like movie trailers. You kind of see some little spoilers in there. I just like to experience it like organically.
That's a good point about the inside cover too. I didn't read the left side inside cover. Until I want to say, like, chapter 5, when I was kind of like, I don't really know. I don't really know how I feel about this. So I read the inside cover, and I was like, okay, there's an end to the road. Like, I feel like I can do this. And then that's when I got to them two meeting up, like, when they got put into the jail together. I was like, okay, it's so close. I know it's on the horizon. And I think that was just a little bit of me being spoiled with fantasy romance, because half the time it's gonna end well. So it's like, I mean, if this doesn't end well, it's gonna kill me inside, I think. But that, like, things are gonna happen, so you kind of just want to jump to it, right? Like, when you get that thought in your head. But when I read the inside cover, I was like, okay, like, I read it a couple times, and I was like, okay, I'm getting used to it, and that's when I really got into it, because I was like, okay, I like the dynamic of her in this country, and she's now in line to be the successor, and I love stuff like that, so it kind of got me hooked there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't even read the cover. Or anything. Right? I was like, Becca, I just started reading. I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. Reading. Right? And like all the picks or books that like I want to read, they're on my TBR. It literally just comes from Book Talk, and they'll be like, oh, if you like this, you'll like this, and I'm like, okay, add to list,
which is so dangerous but worth
it. It is, Bray. I'll tell you. Again, seasoned veteran here. I have stacks upon stacks that are DNFs because I picked them up going in blind, and then other ones, the blind ones, I'm like, holy shit, this has opened me up into like a 4-book series that I'm obsessed with. So Book Talk is dangerous but rewarding.
So far, so good. I'm
good.
I'm 3 for 3 so far.
Yeah, 3 for 3.
3 for 3. In terms of like characters, I actually really like Taliesin.
Oh
I
yeah.
only have one other character to compare her to, and I don't want you guys to feel because you guys haven't read that book yet. But I just feel like Taliesin is so much tougher of a character in terms of a main character and as a female
Then Violet from Fourth Wing.
than Violet from Fourth Wing, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Fourth Wing I honestly love because of Xaden. Violet's tolerable. Yeah,
Tolerable.
Tolerable.
Ooh.
tolerable.
Okay,
Tolerable.
put a
There's
pin in
points.
that once we get there.
Yeah, that's next discussion. Oh, all
Okay,
right.
save up, save
But
up.
I still love the book. I think it's a great book, honestly. Like great. Um and Hurricane Wars is a little bit different than that, but I really enjoyed Taliesin as a character. She's tough. She's not backing down. She can hold her own, fighting against this prince from the very beginning without even touching a lightsaber or being properly trained.
Yeah.
Like she's pretty badass. I like her a lot. And she's not the other thing too is like I don't know how other fantasy romance books are describing when characters are starting to like somewhat fall in love or like show attraction. Um I don't know, I don't want to spoil it for you guys at the same time.
Well, I mean, I.
And then explain it. But I feel like Taliesin is just very more mature about it. I don't feel like it's a young teenager describing how she's feeling.
Oh
That makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah. I definitely know what you
Taliesin
mean.
sits there and she's like, "Oh, I'm starting to notice how broad his shoulders are or
Yeah,
how
yeah,
he
yeah.
is." Like that description of attraction is so much better to me than just saying like, "Wow, this guy's like so hot," and like just saying that explicitly just out there.
Yeah,
I'm
and she
like,
like
"What are you like
slowly
12?"
realizes it.
Yeah, she's slowly starting to come to it, and she kind of just describes what she's feeling. Like she's like, "Oh, my heart stops whenever it looks at me or whatever, it skips a beat or whatever." And I appreciate that. I appreciate the maturity of Taliesin because Talison's also like, wow, how old is she? No, she's 21, I think.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
She's 21. Valeric's like
I think
25,
it's
26,
26.
6.
Yeah.
26. So
I love me
appreciate
age
that.
gap too.
Yep, yep, yep.
Oh
Especially if they're
yeah.
500.
500 versus 19.
Yep.
But that is one more thing I liked, like we were mentioning. I like that they both came from like the same background, but on two ends of like two sides of the same coin. Like they were both in their own right immature, but very mature. Like they didn't really have that like personal connection with other people other than like their, warriors. Which, by the way, Severum, I stan, love this guy. His humor, like half of my annotations toward like the later half of the book was Severum and the way like he didn't back down against, the Night Emperor. Uh, but I really like that too, Brie. Like that she knew what she wanted and she was fine being alone up until that point, forced into the marriage, but she wasn't just like, oh my gosh, she's super hot, swoon. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that she was loyal to like her continent, her country, her like plight. And like even when she was still falling for him, she's like, oh my gosh, the one time like his jaw worked and she's like, I could cut his neck right now. Like I
Yep.
loved like the warring emotions
It's
because like
so
it's so realistic. It's so
yeah.
realistic. Like your enemy is so scary, but he's still
It's a
like
true
so
enemies to lovers. Like I don't even know how to even put it.
right. And same with him, like he hates her kind. And like I see why, and like even then he's like, she's so beautiful, but also I want to snuff the light out. Like I loved it. I loved it so much, their dynamic. And they didn't really talk much either. I like the inner dialogue.
Yeah, I like the I don't know, I like Taliesin a lot. Like you said, badass girl, does what she wants, puts her kind of like, what is it? I want to reference something and I'm just so bad at this. But it's like country over heart or something like that. Like she's thinking of her country and her continent, like you said. But coming to terms with like, okay, I might actually kind of like this guy. But I really like Alec's character. Just because he's definitely a soft boy. Like he, you know, like he's got this big bad ego, but like on the outside, but the inside he's just this like little cinnamon roll. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how the end plays out. Just because, like, that last chapter, I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, what is happening? Why? How? When? But I'm going to backtrack for a second before we get to the ending. Number one, have you guys seen Treasure Planet? The movie.
Long time ago.
A
yeah.
long time ago, so I probably
Same.
But do you know the hoverboard he flies on?
Yeah.
Okay, but why did I
remember
picture
that.
that? When she was
For-
like using the wasps, I think. I don't know. I pictured that for some reason.
So want to know what I pictured? Which is funny enough, going back to Bree's point, I pictured pods, like for pod racing from Star Wars, but just in the air. Because
I
like
pictured more like Star Wars like vehicles, like
that makes a lot more sense.
as ships. They were actual ships though.
That's what I was saying too, because like the
sails.
hoverboards
they did have
in
sails, yeah.
oh yeah, in Treasure Planet he has the board and has a sail on it. That's why I was like, oh, okay. And I did watch it the other night. That's probably why.
Okay.
I also hold on. I wrote new Shadow Daddy ? With a heart. But I did write a main sticky note here that we could discuss. Why did I do that? Do you guys think, I guess we'll just open it. Well, no, hold on. I'm bad at this. Let's talk about the ending first, and then I have these questions we can talk about. All right. So the ending. I have it open right now. The ending with Gaharis saying that he's using all the technology. Like, fuck you guys. Which I knew that his general was gonna fucking backstab him like that. It's not even really backstab, but she kind of did.
I didn't like her.
Matheri. I was like, this bitch is gonna do something that she doesn't get paid enough to do. And she is gonna fuck me up here. And she, in fact, did. So, do you guys think that with this ending, it'll be more like a conflicting love? Like the next book will be like she knows how to move around country and love, but he doesn't.
Yes.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
I at least think that there's more at stake for him. Like,
yeah.
Sure, she is now what the Lachiska.
Yep.
But she wasn't raised in that. He was even saying from 3 years old he could open the Shadow Gate. From 3 years old he was born, bred, molded to be the next emperor. So like, even though Taliesin is feeling that back and forth, like, I need to be a good wife, but also I am still with the resistance.
Of course.
I think with him, there's so much more at stake. And he fell first, and I think he's
for sure.
Oh yeah. He
for sure.
I was gonna mention that after you were just talking about him. I was like, oh, I love that he fell first, and you can kind of see it.
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Like I said, the daddy issues, man. Like, she made that
We
one.
all
little
have
clip.
them.
So maybe that's why I commiserate so much.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, she even made that little quip. She's like, you do whatever daddy tells you to do, and he was so mad at that.
I was like, ooh, ow.
I know, I was like, low blow.
Yeah, that hurt me.
Yeah, but like, Gaharis fights dirty.
Oh, yeah.
And I definitely think that he's like, he's going to have to choose between, the new Shadow Empire or Taliesin. So.
I don't know. I slightly felt different about the ending. I didn't know if that would have his dad now taking this technology, if that would sway him more towards Taliesin. Because he may finally start to realize that, like, it's never going to end with his dad, you know? Like, he got into this marriage to unite the nations, but then, like, his dad is still trying to one-up everybody.
It's a good
Do you know what
point.
I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he's seeing this, like, firsthand, like, I did all of this for nothing. I got married and all this stuff.
For
And
nothing.
we
Yeah.
conquered everything already. What is the point?
Yeah.
Like, to what end?
I
And that's how
mean,
I felt about that. I feel like I don't know if he's starting to realize a little bit more like my dad's fucking nuts, or if he still is gonna have that loyalty. I think he still will have that loyalty. He's just gonna be very conflicted later on.
I think
It's gonna be really rough for him.
it's gonna be a lot like Avatar.
Oh, like
A Zuko
Zuko.
situation.
Zuko,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really feel like it's gonna be
my
like that.
honor.
Yeah, exactly. Like sounded just like him. Perfect.
Shit.
I feel like it's gonna be a lot like that because he still loved his dad even though everything that his dad did, and he loves his country, but there will be a part of him I feel like that, like you said, that is gonna be still that still wants to be with that and with his dad, but he knows that he can't. I'm interested how the void fell, right? Is what it's called. I'm
The Dark
interested.
Knight.
Yeah, I'm interested in how that's gonna play a part with his dad, because like, is his dad gonna go whole ass fucking Palpatine and like be like, nope, you know what, fuck him, like this whole world can just blow up, I guess. Or is he gonna be like, yeah, no, like save the world first, and then I'm just gonna execute everyone. Like, I'm just wondering how he's gonna play into that. Like, I feel like he's gonna have a big part in how that kind of manifests.
Speaking of Gaharis, I think like his counterpart, Talison's grandma, don't trust her.
Yo, that was on my questions. All right, let's go. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Okay, because you were talking about, and correct me if I'm using the wrong term, because I'm looking through the book now. I didn't annotate it. Like, is it called the Dark Knight, where the void fell?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
so.
it's
It is
it's
called
different
Dark Knight.
names, but
The
yeah,
The
yeah,
Night
that's
of
one.
The Night of Dark, because I'm like, that's a
End of
Batman movie.
World.
So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I do not trust her. I think kind of the same thing. Like, I understand she's a politician and has been. What's her name? Urja. That's how I was pronouncing it. I'm sorry,
Urduja
guys.
or Urja,
Urja.
yeah.
Yep. Um, I wholeheartedly do not trust. I feel like she is trying to use Taliesin to like protect Nenevarine, and she kind of, I think to me, was like kind of foreshadowing. She's like, Nenevarine has survived centuries of this. We know how to protect ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the world is fucked.
Yeah.
And like you said, I really think like they're two sides of the same coin. I really think Gaharis is going to try and use Alaric and Taliesin to like maybe protect Kasith,
Mm-hmm.
and then fuck the rest of the world, and then it'll be that much easier to take over. Or opposite, I think Urja is going to do the same thing, protect Nenevarine,
And
use
fuck
their
everyone
combined
else.
power and fuck everyone over.
Yeah.
Right, because they preached about independence and all that, but she seems very gung ho at like combining these two continents, these two nations, and to me that was so strange. Because even before, like with her friend Kahid, that's how I was pronouncing it.
Yeah.
She heard as a child the stories of Nenevarine, like they were completely off limits, and then all of a sudden you have a granddaughter, and then all of a sudden now you want to be like a major political power. That's a little sus.
For sure. I do agree with that. That was one of the questions I had. I literally wrote, Dragon Queen is hiding something, ...
Hell yeah, dragons. Well, number one, she was hiding dragons.
Yeah. For sure. Like, and you have to think from like a military standpoint. Like, if you're hiding one of your greatest assets, what else are you hiding? Like, and I just feel like was very Game of Thronesy when she was like to Taliesin in that room alone, and she was like, trust no one. Literally, meaning don't even trust me.
She was giving off Cersei vibes.
She very much was. She was. Bree, what do you think about that?
I don't know. I don't think I picked up on like her attitude. I just think I just couldn't figure her out.
Hmm.
I was kind of just like, all right, I'm gonna keep reading. I'm just gonna ignore her, sort
You
of.
look at the positives. Becca and I are
Yeah.
like, show us the bad stuff.
I know we're reading between the lines.
Yeah.
I don't, especially with series like this. I really feel like there's gonna be
Yeah.
like a big like plot twist.
Give
That's
us
just me
death.
though.
Kill somebody.
I don't know. I feel like I didn't pick up on like a lot of secrets or like little things that are in this book. And
Hmm.
like that's why I think Fourth Wing and Iron Flame are very good about that. Like Fourth Wing is very quick. It's a quick read.
Hmm.
And there's so much like little bits of information that you're
Hmm.
like, what the fuck? Like I need to know more about that. And then when you get to Iron Flame, like then they start explaining it and you're like, holy
Yeah.
fuck. But they still don't explain all of it completely. So
Hmm.
you still have to go to the next book to be like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
This I didn't feel like I picked up on things like that as much.
Gotcha. I feel like she's doing a really good. Oh
No,
my
she's
god.
probably really doing a good job at hiding it
Oh
from
yeah.
my dumbass, but
No. I feel like she's
No,
doing
no.
a good job hiding it in general. I feel like
Yeah.
she's writing it in a way that's like you want to cheer for, or you want to not even cheer. You want to feel bad for all the characters, right? Because you have Gaharis, who is this old ass dick, and but it's like
his
his
dad was killed.
yeah, his dad was killed,
Yeah.
and he was thrown at the like in the throat. Oh God, I'm dying over here. He was
In the
put
middle of
in the
war.
throne, and like he didn't even want to be there, but he was there mad. And then he had his wife, who I don't know. I'm like kind of weird
Something's
about
going on
that.
with that. We don't know what's
Do
going on with that. That's
Yeah.
I wish you guys can see my book right now. Dark Gray is his mom's name. I have so many dark gray tabs. I'm like, something's going on
Nice.
with his mom.
And that's very Avatar like. It's the same thing. Like
oh yeah, yeah.
his
my gosh,
Man,
yes.
I'm
mom,
starting to think of the Zuko. So I'm gonna
right?
think now.
There's a
So many
lot of
Zuko
parallels. Yes. Um I mean, there's definitely something going on with the mom, and I feel like we're going to get a little bit of that in the next book because I don't know, I just feel like it has to be something. It has to be related to why maybe she was a light weaver,
Hmm.
you know? And his dad was like, "Hey, yo, no, I don't want that." But I don't know, but I think there's something definitely odd about the mom.
Maybe that would explain why they can merge their magics together because he's like half.
Yeah,
Ooh, ooh.
for
I
sure.
like that theory.
That's a
You know.
good theory.
But I don't know. I have no
Um,
evidence to back that up.
no, I mean,
It makes sense.
that's
Like,
what theories are, though. You know, kind of just gotta throw it out there and hopefully it works. That's Akatar for me all the time. Hopefully your theory is right. Um, what other one do I have here? I also had like, I mean, it coincides with what we just said, but is there another reason why the Night Empire hates Lightweavers? What do we think?
um, other than the personal, I that's a good question. I didn't pick up on that. I feel like there's also the Firemancers, wind and water. I can't remember them. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, there's other elements,
Yep.
and I
And we
get it.
never
Like,
see them.
Yep.
we never saw them. I think
Mm-hmm.
they talked once about it when they were like making some fire. But yeah, I was like, why do they hate them so much? I understand, like, it's light and dark, like that's classic enemy. But yeah, what else is going on there other than the personal hatred that Lightweaver's off his family?
Yeah, that's true, really.
I thought about that too. I was like, why are they so hated? And to the point where they were like, Lightweavers were snuffed out, where Talison's the last one left. Last one left, in quotation marks.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, yeah.
She's got like 5 siblings, you know that. They're all running around somewhere. Random Lightweaver people.
Oh, you know what, too? So I think going back to like, now going to like Talison's mom, they said she died from something too fast
A
in
fever.
order for somebody to figure out what was going on with her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if she got poisoned. I don't know if something happened.
Yeah,
I,
they say like an
Maybe-
illness.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Princess Di situation.
Yeah.
outsider marries into the royal family, starts stirring up trouble. She wanted to adventure and liked the jungles, and like you said, Brie, dies too quickly for a nation that is hundreds of years more advanced than any other nation in this universe because they've been kept out of the war.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So I feel like the grandma is definitely not to be trusted because she speaks ill of her mom, Talison's mom, multiple
Yeah.
times. Like even to her face and to her son's face. I mean, granted, like grandma don't give a shit. Like she don't care about anything. Sure, she's like my grandma. She'll just say whatever. But I just think that
Mhm.
like her dad also. I mean, she's 21, right? I mean, the mom died 20
Yeah.
years ago or something, whatever it was. And she ran off with her. So it's like dad is grieving a little too long. Like can't talk about her, doesn't want to talk about her. Anytime she's brought up, he's like, choked up like like I can't.
I don't think he really had anybody to help him mourn, though.
Oh
Who's he gonna
yeah.
talk to? His mom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
His
she's
mom's
really
right there.
supportive. Yeah. Yep.
And same thing, like his wife, again, quotation marks, caused a civil war. Not really, she was, protecting her people.
Yeah.
But yeah, like she was like an enemy of the state. Which again might be by Verdija's hand. Like she
Mhm.
is sneaky.
I think I'm just a little pessimistic because I feel like everybody everybody's the enemy. Like
Right.
and that's probably
Everyone says.
yeah, it's probably the Hunger Games in me because when I read that, it was like the line was know who the real enemy is, and ever since then I'm like, yup, everybody's my enemy. Yep.
Yeah, never take anything for face value.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think her dad is evil. I think he's just this poor fucking schmuck who just really that's it. Like he's just this
Poor guy with no
poor guy,
backbone.
yeah, with no backbone. He didn't want to do anything. Had to kill his brother. He's just kind of like meh. But I definitely think that the the queen is holding everybody as puppets for sure.
Speaking of questioning everything, did you guys think it was a little odd or quick on how well they like accepted Taliesin as the long lost
Yes.
granddaughter? Was that weird for you
Yes.
guys?
Yes.
Like I understand she has two things going for her, like the spitting image and the light weaver, obviously.
No one confirmed that. Like,
No one
can we
confirmed
get a
it,
No.
DNA
right?
test?
Right? She chased after. That's what I thought. I was like, you have a super advanced civilization, and you're telling me, other than looking at old photographs and her
That she
being
looks
a
like her
light,
mom.
she looks like, right,
Like,
that's it. And like, sure, like the stories line up, but if someone did their research and like, what was the guy's name? Her general that snuck onto Neneverine, you could find out that information easily.
yeah.
Again, not that I'm contesting it. I just thought it was so odd for like this nation that is so suspicious of every outsider. You find a girl that has chestnut brown hair, and
Mm-hmm.
you're like, yeah, come on in. Yeah, you're gonna be the next heir. No questions asked, no follow up, no proof
Mhm.
needed.
I really think the grandma's the culprit here after all this. Because, I don't know. I just, like, I feel the same way. And it wouldn't really shock me to read that she's not even related to him. That they're any of them. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if the grandma's just like, yeah, no, you're just a pawn. Like,
Right.
you're nobody. You are nobody. Like,
And like,
almost like Star Wars when Rey was nobody. Really.
mhm.
Like, I wouldn't be shocked.
And then one more piece to this theory is when she does step into the lightsaber, she gets those memories. But
Mm-hmm.
I truly feel like those could be like manufactured.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I was just very suspicious of that. And maybe it's just like a plot hole that wasn't like thought about. But anyway, that was one thing that kind of pissed me off because like what Brie and I were saying, there's so much detail. She is building this world. She is
Yeah.
weaving all of this, and she's leaving little breadcrumbs for us. And that pissed me off that was not that was not more talked about.
No, I agree. I feel like there might be something to that. Another theory that goes along with it. could just be like I said, like she's not even related to him, and there's a reason why she can't remember anything about her mom. It's because it's not her mom. Like it's, like she has nothing to do with, like she's just a person. She's just an orphan.
Right. And again, if we're thinking that there's like other light weavers out there, they weren't completely all uh worn out, and like, with war you get displaced and stuff like that. I just think that it's plausible. I mean, she's the main character, but
Yeah.
plausible. Thea didn't sell me on that.
We're suspicious. Suspicious bunch. My next question, which has been eating me alive. Why does the Night Empire hate Amarante? The Amarante? Vela? That lady? Her general from the Sardovian front. Why do they hate her so much? So I know that she was a soldier for the Night Empire, right? Like she was from there and she left. But it's like they have so much repeated hate for her. Like even Alric, Severin, they all hate her so much. And I'm just like, I feel like, and we don't really hear much about her after. So it's like, I wonder if she fucked something up so bad when she left that like they have this repeated animosity for her.
No, that's a good point.
Maybe they probably have like a lot of bad blood between them, but like also she is the general, so it's almost like how they feel about Gaharis or whatever. Like if they take out the big guy, they take out the general, the whole thing is gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
Right? So she's the top. So they need to get to her, kill her, so that whole rebellion is just in shambles. And it's not over until they do.
Like even Gaharis is like
calls
after
her by name.
Yeah, after what she did, blah blah blah, and it's like, oh damn, like he really has a grudge, like like I know, like you said, she's the general, but I'm sure people leave like and disappear all the time, from the front, and it's just odd to me.
And same, didn't her and Bashima defect at the same time?
I think so.
Right. So like, and that was like one of your first points, Megan. These titles, they never described, other than her being a great warrior, what an Amarante is. Like if that's a title, if that's like
right.
If that's a class, because I'm thinking back to D&D, right? Like, or faction, because like in D&D you have like the Harpers and you have like high elves and stuff like that. What is an Amarante? But
exactly.
Anyway,
yeah.
She sounds like a badass bitch, but yeah, like they are out to get her. And that whole like search party that Alaric did was really, he's like, I know she's here.
Yeah. Like it just feels like she knows something or stole something. And I don't know what that could be. But she obviously has such faith in Talos and whatever she does, so it's like I feel like she definitely has some information that we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, to be a general and then to leave, like just the information alone, like she's dangerous. But yeah, we didn't get much background on her, I don't think.
Not really. Not really.
I think there was a lot of world building to do first before she gets thick into like plot.
Yeah, that's true.
Planted the seed, and now she's like, okay.
Yeah. No, I definitely get that.
I don't mean to interrupt your next question, Meg. Speaking of seed, her friend Cade.
Yes.
I think that's going to come back too.
Yep, that was my next question. Actually, I was gonna say,
oh boy,
do we think that she is alive?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
I think she's alive.
What do we think she is doing?
That I don't. I didn't even think that she was imprisoned or be alive in prison. So like by the end of the book, when he was talking, like I'm gonna inquire about her, I didn't necessarily think of that.
Yeah, I hope that she is not a prisoner. I hope that she like settled down in some little village and is raising her baby, and it's like planning her escape. Not really escape, but like planning to get back. But yeah, I mean, he does make a fair point. Like, she was a really great. There's this particular name for it when they were good at the driving the aircrafts. She was really good at that. So like,
Yeah.
maybe she did capture her in that last fight. I hope not, because also she's pregnant. So.
I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. I was just doing the math, and when she was there for 4 months, and then during the fight she was 2 months along.
Yeah.
I was like,
so it's close.
She's, right. And then I think the wedding was 2 months after the 4 months. So I was like, she's had the baby about one of the last times that she was thinking about her. So.
And she could have even had it early.
That's fair. Assuming that she, made it to full term.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get I don't know. I've read so many books that it's like there have been worst case scenarios. Like there was this book, not one of the first books I read, but I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Hush Hush, and it's got like 5 books after or something. It's about like angels or whatever. So it's definitely a teenager read, so we're not gonna read that. The ending pissed me off, so that's why we're not reading it. But the ending, it was like the main character's best friend who, it's kind of like a Twilight thing, like stuck with her, like loved her from afar kind of thing, like stuck with her throughout everything, and then he fucking dies at the end, and then she was just like, oh, okay, like whatever. I was like,
That disrespect.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is that? And his name was like Scott, and I was like, this is okay. So it pissed me off. So that's why I'm like, I really hope Homegirl doesn't die, because I really liked her character. Even though Taliesin is tough, like it showed that there's a tougher character. Like even though kind of shows like, the toughest people still need a rock to lean on. And that's what she got in her friend. So I'm hoping she's not dead. Same for the baby too. I hope she's not, and I kind of hope, like you said, that she's like, has her baby, whatever. And I really hope that she can, like, whatever fight is going to happen, like, because, there's going to be a war. Like, it's just unavoidable. There wouldn't be any more books if there wasn't going to be a war of some kind, it's not like you're going to end the Void Fell and just be like, oh, okay, wipes hands, we're done. So I hope that she comes back kicking and joins the fight, because that I feel like that's not like her character to not bounce back,
Yeah. Even in motherhood, I feel like that would make her fight that much harder, because like what we were talking about the wedding at the beginning, it was, I don't want to say I didn't like her character, but the way that they're writing her in made her seem like a stick in the mud in comparison to Soul.
Yeah.
But like, it made me like her that much more, that when Soul died, she's like, I'm not going to just lay down and cry for him. Like, I'm going to fight for him. Yeah. So she's a scrapper. And I think like motherhood probably makes that 10 times more so. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
She's alive.
Yeah. It's all, right. It's a war book. It's war makes you hard. War makes you, a tough creature. So that's why I like Taliesin as well. It's just because she's a creature of war, and she has these emotions and how she feels, but she's not afraid to she's not afraid to really like get dirty, Jesus. Yeah, I mean, what else do you guys think? Those were my questions.
I don't think I really had any more questions. I'm really excited for the second book.
Yeah, I think the trend lately I see is just like the first book of any new series is testing out the waters. So it's like I'm looking at Fourth Wing right now on my shelf, and it's literally half the size of Iron Flame. So it's like, but I'm looking at ACOTAR now. It's the same thing. So I feel like this book was, even as hardcover. Let's see, what did we go to? 470. Yep, 470 pages. I feel like she'll write something bigger. But I
Okay.
hope. I hope. Um,
So, like, what would you guys, if we're like, I guess, summarizing everything up on a scale of 5, what would you rate this book? I guess.
I'll go first since, I'm always the bearer of bad news, I guess. um, no, I give this, I mean, I'm gonna be a little, you know what, I'm gonna be top of the class right now. I'm gonna give this an overall 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 because it was a slow start for me, but it really did get there for me. Kept me on the edge of my seat the last 200 pages, which if it doesn't do that for me in a book, I don't want it. Spice, I want to agree with you, Bree. It was like a 1 compared to what I've read before. So like a 1 on the spice meter, but that's okay. I do recommend this to anybody that wants to read it. It's a good start. And I did save a quote that I really liked. You guys don't have to hurry and find one yourselves. I'm just going to be the class teacher's pet right now. On page 43, when she says, I'll make sure that my child will grow up in a better world. And Taliesin said, they will. She meant it with every fiber in her being. Even if no one could tell the future, there were just some things that had to be true because if they weren't, what was the point of fighting? And I really like that. That one resonated with me a lot in my personal life. So that's when I was like, okay, I get this girl. So yeah, that's my, I guess, rating review on that.
So we're doing a scale of 10? Okay.
Yeah.
Just not sure.
Yeah.
You can go, Becca.
No, you go ahead.
Honestly, someone's only read like 3 fantasy books. I honestly would give this like a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I
Okay.
think it was different from Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. Different kind of read. Probably not as easy to digest compared to like Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing and Iron Flame is very laid back. This has a lot of world building, a lot of big descriptions, a lot of larger vocabulary. But as a new reader, I didn't think that it was hard for me to get into. I still appreciated it. And I thought it was a really good read. I would definitely recommend it to anybody. I would give it a 1 out of 5 chili peppers. But I'm pretty sure the later books are probably, or they better be, at least a 4 on spice, all right? But that's what I would say about the book.
Nice. Becca.
Yeah. Overall, I'm gonna go with Megan a 8. So like I was thinking between 7.5 and 8, but I like the world building. I liked all the foreshadowing. I spin my theories. I like that, nothing is like concrete yet and that she's gonna build more. I think she set it up perfectly, like what you said, Megan. It wasn't as big as, the contemporary other fantasy books, but I think that she has a lot to do and she set it up really, really good. I agree with both of you guys there. If we're doing out of 5 chili pepper scale, it's a 1. I could have done with more. I'm a walking red flag with that, but
Yep.
I think she's like you said. I think she's gonna build on it too. I think that this book was just like a perfect setup for more to come, um, and I want that spice. I want it. Next book 2 needs to be a 3, or I'm walking.
Or you're walking.
I'm kidding.
Oh my god. You slut. Jeez.
As entertaining as this book was, I have needs.
I have needs. Oh, Becca.
I guess it sums it. So if we had to, do an average for this book, it would be an 8 out of 10
Yeah.
read. Level 1 spice. one chili pepper,
Mm-hmm.
but worth it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. All right. I guess we're gonna go on to our next book, which is gonna be Fourth Wing for Becca and I, right?
Yep.
And then Bree is gonna continue reading Akatar. Where are you at on that?
I'm still like at the very beginning because I had to restart because I
Yeah.
started it and I forgot
Right.
everything. I was like, oh well.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably for the best. Yeah.
I
Okay.
was like, in December.
Well, I guess we can awkwardly do a sign off here.
Uh,
All right, perfect. That's the end of that.
and Alaric is Zuko now.
Yep.
But yeah, goodbye everybody. Come join us next time or listen in for more smut talk.
This is
Valkyrie
Smut
Book
Talk.
Talk Ara definitely, and come back for all the theories, the crazy wild fan theories.
Because we're going to be crazy with that and talking about penises. Okay. And that is the end of that. Okay, that's Valkyrie Book Talk. Book Talk? Book Club. Didn't get that right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.